thought about what you can achieve before you pass out from your college? Lakhs of students pass out every year in our country, and the majority of the students settle for less, even though there is so much that can be achieved. I have been part of the recruitment world since 2006, and by virtue of my profession, I have worked with the recruitment teams of majority of multinational companies that operate out of India and visited a couple of hundred colleges for conducting the recruitment drives and training programs. In this journey, I have interacted with thousands of students, and it is quite evident that they don't get enough exposure and guidance to optimally utilize their full potential. In this video, we'll talk about four aspects that will help you in achieving better outcomes before you pass out. The first aspect is about setting higher goals and thinking about bigger possibilities. Let me help you understand this with an example. Recently, I read an incredible story of Mr. Colin O'Brady. He's from the US, and when he plans to go on a world tour, he accumulates money by painting houses and starts his journey. When he was in Taiwan, he met with an accident in which 25% of his legs were burnt. Doctors warn him that he might not walk again. He gets into depression and feels there is no hope for the future. To overcome this situation, Colin's mom asked him to set a very high goal. Bedridden in hospital, he could not think about any goals. After a couple of days, and with his mom's encouragement, he comes up with a goal. He told his mom that he wants to do a triathlon. When her mom heard this, there were tears in her eyes. Colin gets discharged from hospital after a couple of months of treatment. He also goes through rehabilitation. After reaching home, while he was still on a wheelchair, her mom asked him to stand up from his wheelchair on his own and sit on the chair that is kept next to the wheelchair. Colin struggles a lot to move out of the wheelchair. Eventually, with great difficulty, he manages to do that after 2 hours. Next day, Colin's mom moves the chair 2 steps away from the wheelchair and asks him to try to walk towards the chair. She moves the chair a couple of steps away every day for a few days. And then Colin was able to walk with some support, and later he slowly picked up the pace. After regaining enough strength in his legs, he started his preparation for triathlon. After 18 months of practice, Colin participated in triathlon, and not just participation, he managed to successfully complete it. And the best thing is, he came first in triathlon. Eventually, over the few years, he participated in triathlons of 25 different countries. Through this story, can you imagine how setting a higher goal has transformed the entire life of Colin? From bedridden and no hope of walking to participating in triathlon and winning the competitions. Goals have not only given a new direction, hope, it has also brought the best out of Colin, which completely transformed his life. Similarly, if you set higher goals, you can also set new directions that can bring the best in you. The second aspect is about capability. Why do you think people don't set big goals? A lot of people don't set big goals because they think they are not capable of achieving those goals. Or they feel that people should have special talent to achieve big goals, and they feel that talent is an inborn ability and they don't have it. Let me tell you about a study conducted by a Stanford psychologist named Catherine Cox. In 1926, she did a research on 301 exceptionally accomplished historical figures who included poets, politicians, religious leaders, scientists, soldiers, philosophers, artists, and musicians. Cox published a research on IQ to estimate how smart each of these individuals were, both compared to one another and also to the rest of the people. Cox went through the available evidence of each of these people, and from the age and superiority of these accomplishments, she estimated each person's childhood IQ score. According to Cox, the smartest in the bunch was the philosopher John Stuart Mill, who earned an estimated IQ score of 190 by learning Greek at age 3, writing a history of Rome at the age of 6 and assisting his father in correcting the proofs of Indian history at the age 12. The least intelligent in Koch's ranking were the founder of modern astronomy, Nicholas Copernicus, and the chemist and physicist Michael Faraday, with estimated childhood IQ score of 100 to 110, which is slightly above the average of normal people. Isaac Newton lies in between with an IQ of 130, which is bare minimum that a child needs in order to qualify for many of today's talented programs. The overriding observation here is how little IQ mattered in distinguishing the most from the least accomplished. The average childhood IQ of the 10 most eminent geniuses was 146, whereas the average IQ of the 10 last eminent was 143. While evaluating the biographical data, Cox and her assistant also evaluated 67 different personality traits for a subset of 100 geniuses. For most of the 67 indicators, Cox found only slight differences between the eminent and the general population, and not all the high achievers had earned high marks in school. Rather, what differentiates the eminent from the rest of the humanity were a cluster of 4 indicators, which Cox called as persistence of motive, which are things like passion for the work they were involved in, and persistence, which means not giving up attitude no matter what challenges they face. This overall study proves that there was only a minute difference in the levels of IQ of the best and the least, and how slightly higher effort and sheer determination can bring the best out of us and can help attain our goals. This research gives us the proof that those who achieved great things in life, who we consider genius, were not born talented, and we don't need special talents to achieve something big. So you all have the capability to aim and achieve big things. The third aspect is opportunity. A lot of people think that they do not have enough opportunities to utilize their full potential, and hence they don't set higher goals. Especially the way technology has transformed the entire world, today there is no dearth for opportunities. It doesn't matter which field someone is into and what they are pursuing. If one can focus on improving their skill and has the will to put efforts, anything is possible. The final aspect is putting effort on a daily basis, which is nothing but creating habits that will help you in achieving your goals. Whenever we set high goals, the gap looks very huge and we feel it as a distant reality. If you look at Colin's example, when he was bedridden and set the goal of completing the triathlon, anyone will feel as if it is an impossible task. Colin took some baby steps initially, and then he was consistent in his daily activities that led to completing triathlon. Similarly, based on your goal, list down a few basic steps to get started with, and then figure out what are the habits that you need to acquire. Once you figure out what actions will give you the results, put the required effort and be consistent. If you are ready to take enough actions that are required to achieve your goal, then you can achieve any goal. Most of the time, people give up on their goals just because they lack the clarity on what is the effort and actions required, or not putting enough effort that is required. So, a quick recap of what we learned in this video is: number 1, think about a big goal which can give you a new direction, and think about what are the possibilities that can be opened up. Number 2, talent is not an inborn ability, and we all have what it takes to achieve big goals. Number 3, there is no dearth for opportunities. All you need to do is keep improving the skills. Number 4, convert your goals into actions and put enough effort to achieve them. We strongly believe that these inputs would definitely help you, and if you want to watch similar videos, you can subscribe to our channel. See you soon in another video.